Okay, so here's the steak test. I've got these giant steaks, and I stuck the probe in there. I plugged it in, closed the door. Immediately gives me beef steak or lamb as options. We're gonna do our steak, I don't know, medium? Medium? Let's do medium. Steak will need to be turned over. Cook steak on middle rack, use roasting rack, and food thermometer. So I did all of those things. You can't really see it anymore, but it's in there with the roasting rack and the food thermometer. Press the button. High power broiling. Medium steak, food temp 39 degrees. And I don't know what those three little things on the bottom, like also it said 17 minutes or more. This, I thought the other day that meant that you could slide over, but when I try to do that, it just asks me if I want to cancel. So maybe that's the progress. It might be 3 stages. Cook it, and then flip it, and then cook it, and then flip it some more. But anyway, there it goes. The light is on. The steak is baking, or in this case, broiling. I have my doubts, but we'll find out. So I think it went for about 10 or 12 minutes or so, maybe 15 out of the 17 that was originally on here, and then it shot up to 35 minutes, I think. The convection fans in the back started up, so I think this is the the intelligence thing here, as it were. It's realizing that the steak is not heating up that quickly, right? How does it know how thick it is? Does it use the weight sensor? I'm not entirely sure, but clearly these crazy big steaks were going to take more than 17 minutes side even. So certainly smells good in here, and I think you can see it's sizzling on the top. The video from the webcam though is terrible. You might be able to see there how very close that is to the top. So this is the middle rack position here. There is actually a top rack position, lower rack position, but because this meat is quite thick, and it's on the tray and then it's on that rack there, it's really very close to the camera and very close to the broilers. So all you get is this sort of top-down view of just the very center of the meat. That's okay, the webcam is not the most important aspect of this oven, but it's interesting that they didn't really compensate for that in the design. I guess they could have used a fisheye wide-angle camera or something like that. Anyway, I'll be back in a while and see how the steak continues to cook. Okay, I just got a notification to turn the steak over, also on my watch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now it's very loud. The fans have started to make quite a humming noise. But anyway, I want to get this turned over as quickly as possible. Okay, I did as I was told. I did find this step a little bit confusing at exactly how the oven wants me to relate to it. In order to turn, it said turned over on the screen and it was counting down. Now, normally this would not be a complicated process with a regular oven, but there's so much software here, there are instructions there, I don't want to confuse it, so a lot of questions. I open the door to the probe here is plugged in to the side. I don't know if you can see that wire there, but I had to flip the steaks over, so I opened the door in order to pull that out and move it over to the counter where I could handle it. I had to unplug the probe. Is that a problem? I don't know. Then should I have closed the door again? If I close the door before I put the meat back in, will it think that I finished turning it over? So I just left the door open, and then I took it over to the other side of the kitchen, flipped everything, put the probe back in, plugged it back in, closed the door, and then on the screen it said cancel cooking. So it got confused there somehow, and I'm really not sure if it's working correctly. It's still counting down, and I noticed that this second thing is illuminated now there, so maybe it's moved on to the second phase of cooking, I suppose. It'd be nice if they had a manual, but they don't. And I do notice that it is no longer broiling, so the top broil elements are not on, which leads me to wonder, how can I brown my steak evenly? It had a good 20 minutes or so of intensely broiling the top, and now it is roasting, which is fine, but maybe that last step there will be broiling again in order to finish the top, because I will say it looked great. The top of the steak was beautifully browned. When I flipped it over, of course, the bottom looks like a cadaver. So we'll see how that comes out. Yeah, so there we go. Steak continuing to bake. Aha, I guessed correctly. So with 6.5 minutes to go or so, it's turned to high power broiling and switched modes here. So that'll get the top done. So I guess this is getting close. Smells great. Well, it just finished. The little musical tones went off and it says steak is ready, cooked to 135. It's gone up to 136 now, so I should probably take it out and let it rest, and then we're gonna have dinner. Hoorah! Okay, there's what they look like straight out of the machine, and I'm going to not take a long video because I don't want to screw these up. So here's the steak from the June Intelligent Oven. I pressed the button for medium. I've already sort of gone into it here, but well, you won't be able to see this on the camera, but I would say until I cut it a minute ago and it's gotten a little grayer, but it was a little pink on the inside. I would say it was actually cooked to medium. It stopped at 135, and it's actually pretty good. So that thing actually worked pretty well with the broil and then roast and then broil thing. Anyway, we're gonna stop making the video now and finish eating.